How are we doing, guys? Sam back with this week's fishing report for you. I got to talk about the huge sale we have coming up, the spring kickoff event, as well as our Anglers Cast, where our staff has picked some of our greatest selections from the store for your fishing needs, and super deep discounts on those, along with the rest of the store. It's going to be on the 2nd and 3rd of March. We have some flyers you can pick up. You can check everything out on our website. We also have some really cool raffles and whatnot, so a lot of great things going on there. But let's talk about fishing. So as far as what most folks are going to start wanting to do right now is chase those spawning yellow perch on the shore. Things have been a little bit tougher this past week because we've had some flooded areas and a lot of wind, and it's basically been almost impossible to fish some of your shore spots that you're trying to fish, like Greensboro and Hillsboro, just because they've been so flooded and the current's been moving so fast. However, if we start to warm up next week, you can certainly start to expect to catch some of those yellow perch a little bit further down. You don't want to quite run up to like Red Bridges or the upper reaches yet. You want to stay down a little bit if you can. So there's some access on Tuckahoe Creek you can always fish. Hillsboro's not a bad idea, it's not too far up. But if you could go down and fish anything a little bit further, like Stony Creek Landing, you're probably going to have some better odds. Those areas might not be your more traditional sense of fishing like a bobber and a shad dart, which you might be used to for the perch run, because it's, like I said, that current's moving a lot. So some classic bottom rigs with bloodworms or live minnows is kind of what you're going to want to do in those deeper, faster moving areas. If you're over here on the west side and want to fish the Magathie, you could start working up the upper reach of the river, and they are starting to catch a few more, I would say, over here than I've heard on the shore. The Severn, there's not too much access for that, but you might be able to find some if you really know the river well and start looking up towards the upper reaches. You might be able to get into some perch there. So other than that, of course, catfish is always a great opportunity in the winter months. Putting any sort of bait on the bottom, cut bait is always going to be your best bet, just something natural that they're eating. We carry LY here, vacuum sealed and frozen, which is a great option, or mullet's another option a lot of people don't know about. They freeze really well, so it's a great option right now when you can't really get much fresh bait. One of those areas in Annapolis, like Jonas Green Park, is a good option for you as well. You can always fish at Sandy Point too, more on the sandy beach side. A lot of catfish are caught there. Any sort of your local access on the Magathie or the Severn in a neighborhood can always give you a good bet for those catfish as well. As far as snakehead goes, it's just been too cold, guys. We haven't quite heard many being caught at all. So the last thing is probably the rockfish, and you're coming up on your end of the fishing season for them there, at least our catch and release season. So if you're leaving out of, say, Solomons or South, you do have an opportunity at them. It's been a little bit tougher than it was last month or the month prior to find them, but if you can find some schools of bait and some of those deeper dredges in that 50 to 80 feet, basically your channel edges, you can find some big schools of LY out there. You can definitely find a few stripers mixed in with them. But you're looking for the bigger class fish here, so don't be afraid to fish your 8-10 inch baits on some heavy jigs. You're going to need some weight to get down there. I think that's just going to about wrap it up, and we hope we see you guys on the 2nd and 3rd of March for the big spring kickoff. We're going to have food, drinks, raffles, all sorts of good stuff. Thanks, guys.